Good morning, everyone. It's Sal, Stretford Post. How you all doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. I hope you're doing good. I hope you're doing fine. I hope everything is blessed of you this morning, guys. Absolutely, on this Tuesday. Lovely Tuesday. Today, of course, guys, considering what the elements are, of course, from last night. But, guys, I want to talk standards. Standards. We have standards. We can't celebrate because we have standards. There's one number I would like to remind everyone about myself. 13. Unlucky for some, but lucky for others. 13. What does 13 mean for me? 13 basically means 13 titles. 13 titles I have seen, right? I have witnessed 13 Manchester United titles in my lifetime. 13. Just the titles alone. 13 titles. And you're coming to me because I celebrate a Manchester United win with the word standards. Standards. You wouldn't know what standards was if it slapped you in the face. You do not have a clue what standards is. You do not understand what it takes to get to standards. You do not have the patience. You do not have the maturity that it takes to understand standards. 13 titles I've seen in my lifetime. 13. And for the first few years of my life, we weren't winning titles. So I understood the patience that was involved in it. I'm still hammering out. They scream, I'm still hammering out. I'm not convinced by it. I'm not convinced. Listen, guys, I'm not saying that we are where we are. I'm not saying that we've made it. I'm not saying that we're going to win the league. We're going to do everything. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. I'm not saying that. But what are you not convinced about? That we should have won 8-1 yesterday? You can't muster yourself to say, fair play, we did well yesterday. Let's hope we can carry that on into the next game. Fair play. Let's see if we can carry that on to the next game. But he did well today. That was a good performance. Despite talking about what Wolverhampton Wanderers are, what this, what that, all the excuses under the sun. Standards. What do you want us to win? 10-0? It's one of Man United's biggest wins over Wolves in recent years. You know? Even under Sir Alex Ferguson. But standards. I've got standards. Some of us have got standards. What standards, mate? Sitting in your grandma's bedroom? Is that what your standards are? Is that what it is? Because at the end of the day, the only standards I see is low from yourself. Because at the end of the day, you're not a Man United fan if you can't celebrate a win. I'm not saying jump from the rooftops and say, we just beaten Wolverhampton Wanderers. Yeah, we just beaten Wolverhampton Wanderers. Let's go. We beaten Wolves. When I'm not saying that. I'm saying you can celebrate Man United winning. If you can't celebrate Man United winning, what's the bloody point of watching Manchester United? Because you're not interested in Manchester United. You're interested in your opinion. And when it goes tits upwards for your opinion, you're like, oh, get defensive and you ain't got standards. That's what it is. It's nothing to do with Man United because Man United could go on a 10-match winning run right now, right? And you'll still talk about standards. You know, there's idiotic, stubborn, arrogant, narcissistic people in our fan base that just don't want to enjoy a win because they have been proven wrong for that moment there. 8 games, 1 defeat. If you can't see elements of improvement, despite the squad ineptity, then I don't know what you're looking at, guys. Maybe if they backed Ruben Amorim, the Glazers and Ineos, we'll be even better, guys. We'll be even better. We were a stone's throw away from losing from winning against Nottingham Forest. The same with Tottenham. And we'll be right up there behind Arsenal. He didn't play Lacey. Lacey didn't come on. He's a fraud. He didn't come on. Lacey didn't come on. Why didn't Lacey come on? None of you have even seen Lacey play. I guarantee you half of you have not even seen Lacey play, let alone talk about what Lacey can do and what Lacey can't do. I agree. Maybe he should play Lacey. Maybe when it was 4-1, yeah, maybe that's one criticism I can have. Maybe he should have just threw on the kid. But people acting like all of a sudden they're a Shea Lacey expert. Everyone's a Shea Lacey expert when no one was talking about him a few months ago. I was. My eyes don't lie. My eyes don't lie. This is the eye test. My eyes don't lie. My eyes are not lying to me. Well, you're definitely lying to us because you're definitely not a Man United fan. Definitely not. Absolutely not. You have no characteristics of that. I don't mind, like, guys coming on, and having an opinion about the game and having an opinion about the ins and outs of the game. Maybe that's better. I'm not saying, yeah, we're there, we're going to win the league. I'm saying, well, that's better. That's what I expect from Man United. Good performance. Maybe something like that. Not, it's because of this, it's because of that, it's because of him, it's because of that. Maybe a little bit of, a little bit being a little tiny bit more zealous. Just a tiny bit, just a tad. And then you can say, well, you know what? We still need to go out and we need to go on a run. Now, look, ultimately, I know that we're not going to be judged on Wolverhampton Wanderers. I know that. I know that Wolverhampton Wanderers are a poor football team. I know that. But you can only defeat what is in front of you. We are literally 8 games with 1 defeat, guys. 8 games with 1 defeat. We were very close to winning a couple of those games, which we drew. We drawn too many. Absolutely. We drawn too many. And this is what I'm talking about. People don't look at that. They look at that, oh, well, you know what? He had a good window. He had the players he wanted. What? A couple of attacking players and a last-minute goalkeeper? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And there are many United fans that are feeding off just trying to be right, just being negative, and that's what it is at the end of the day, because they just want to be proven right rather than supporting their own football team. Now, guys, the game. Manchester United defeat Wolverhampton Wanderers by 4-1. Decent display. I just want to give a shout out to Aidan Heaven, who had an absolutely brilliant display yesterday, coming in as a centre-back, of course, yesterday. Absolutely phenomenal yesterday. Just want to give a quick shout out to him. Lots of good performances on the pitch. Dallo, fair play to him, had a decent game yesterday, did well yesterday. And to be fair, he's been all right the last couple of games. He's been doing okay. Of course, guys, nothing spectacular, but okay. Bruno Fernandes, of course, is going to get the plaudits because obviously 2 assists, 2 goals. Definitely the man of the match. You have to give him the man of the match with 2 assists and 2 goals. Of course, 1 assist and 2 goals, of course, guys. So you have to give him the man of the match, of course, guys. Lots of decent performances out there. Cunha worked his socks off, did pretty well, of course, guys. Absolutely magnificent pass as well for one of the goals. Brilliant goal for, I think it was Mbremo's goal. Absolutely. And Bremo was a little bit rusty. He was giving the ball away quite a lot, guys. Needs to improve, definitely needs to improve. But glad he got a goal yesterday, which obviously will help with his confidence and stuff like that. Absolutely, it'll help with his confidence. And obviously he can move on and he can try and get more goals and more assists and stuff like that and become a true Man United player, of course. A little bit concerned by the looks of things about the fitness of the team. The fitness of the team look a little bit off. If I'm being honest with you guys, I spoke about it last night during the game. The fitness does look a little bit off in regards to some of those players. Some of those players look like they need to do extra cardio. If I'm being honest, no offense, guys, need to do extra cardio, of course. Some players just need to improve. Ahmad, again, needs to improve on his final ball. Dallying on the ball too much. Second guessing, passing backwards, passing into midfield, into trouble a few times. And he does need to improve absolutely immensely if we're calling the game constructively. There are a couple of players there that had average games, but there were many players there that overexerted and they did pretty well yesterday. And we have to be honest with you. Luke Shaw did okay yesterday. He wasn't absolutely fantastic, but did his job and did okay yesterday. Of course, barring the goal for Wolverhampton Wanderers, which was an absolute calamity at the time. You know what? I felt like the defense did well. Lamens, again, was solid. I was never worried about Lamens. Never, ever worried about Lamens. And it just goes to show you what a confident goalkeeper does, isn't it? You don't even think about Lamens. When the game is going on, you don't think about the goalkeeper. I'm not even thinking about sending Lamens. Like last year, I was thinking about, oh my goodness, Onana. What's Onana? When's Onana going to make a mistake? When is he going to make a mistake? You know, and I don't feel that this year, thankfully. I don't feel that this year. Absolutely not. And overall, a pleasing result. Can't do much more. The game should have been 8-1. The game should have been 8-1. Man United were out of sight. There was nothing to complain about yesterday. The only thing people wanted to complain about, because they had to complain about something, was the substitute of Shea Lacey, which I kind of agree with. I would love to see the young lad thrown on. Of course, I would love that. Of course, I could. But at the end of the day, we won the game and it's not doom and gloom. Shea Lacey will get his opportunity, but I don't think it is about Shea Lacey. This is not about Shea Lacey. This is picking the bones and finding something negative to moan about. This is exactly what it is. They want to moan about something and they can't find anything, so they have to moan about Shea Lacey. Because if Man United won 1-0 yesterday, they would say, oh, we only won 1-0. We didn't do this. We did it. Because Man United won convincingly, and it should have been a lot more goals, let's be fair, guys. They had nothing. They had no leg to stand up and they had nothing to say. So now it's Shea Lacey. It's about Shea Lacey and how Shea Lacey should have played and blah, blah, blah. And it is pathetic, to be honest with you. It is madness at the end of the day, guys. And, it's insulting that some people call themselves United fans, in my opinion. Absolutely. They call themselves United fans. They go on the airways. Some of them have big pages and stuff, and they're just there to moan, to be honest with you. If it was me, guys, I'll say, look, this is how I look at things. We're one game, right, one game in 8 we've lost, right? One game in 8. Man United win against Bournemouth, right? Then what we're going to do? We're going to carry on with the negativity. If we win against Bournemouth, I understand that we have to beat the biggest. So we have to beat Aston Villa. We have to beat Newcastle United, which are coming up thick and fast, of course, guys. There's some difficult games to come. But if Man United beat Bournemouth, and then what we're going to say then? Well, look, again, 9 games, 1 defeat. And then we're getting into realms of, well, you know what? This is kind of like European Champions League form. And you have to look at that and you have to be honest with yourself and just stop looking at the negatives. We are nowhere near where we need to be. As I said, I'm not ruling them out. I'm not ruling them in. I'm Manchester United in. And when Man United win, of course, I'm going to celebrate. But as I said, 13 titles I've seen. If you want to talk to me about standards, how many titles have you witnessed? How many Champions League of Man United have you witnessed? Right? Because I think that I have a legitimate opinion about Man United, a qualified opinion of what Man United is at the end of the day. 500 games I've been to, guys. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. So, look, I'm tired of it. I am tired of it, to be honest with you guys. And but what I would say is that Man United need to carry on. Ruben Amorim needs to carry on winning games. Of course, I'm not entirely convinced, oh my goodness me, we're going to get in the Champions League now. Of course not. But Bournemouth will represent a much more difficult game. They are better players. And look, guys, we slipped up against West Ham and Everton recently at home. So I'm a little bit concerned about our home form. I mean, goodness me. But if we win that game against Bournemouth, guys, and then we can start getting... Look, guys, we can quite possibly be in the top 4 by Christmas. The top 4 by Christmas. At the beginning of the season, if someone said to you, at Christmas, Man United will be in the top 4, what would you say, guys? Would you take that? Be honest with me, guys. Would you take that? If you said that by Christmas, Man United would be in the top 4, what would you say, guys? Let me just say good morning to the streams, guys, the legends, of course, guys, in the stream, of course, everyone. Big up everyone, of course, guys. Absolutely big up all the legends, of course, guys. Heaven was solid, absolutely, mate. Very good, of course, mate. Heaven was solid. Big up Tyrell Gunnar, how you doing, brother? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. As usual, my guy. Really appreciate you, my friend. Hope everything is blessed. Big up, Sal. Good performance. Absolutely. Last night, very good performance. Absolutely, mate. UK Rap, it was a dominant performance. It was a dominant performance, guys. Absolutely, Kenny. It was a dominant performance. And look, guys, we're nowhere near where we're going to be, but some people will come on this stream right now and start spitting the negatives. Start picking out the negatives, picking the bones out of little things here and there. Do you know what I mean? Oh, we didn't get a clean sheet. That's worrying. Oh, we didn't get a clean sheet. Bloody hell. Hot. So bloody hell. My goodness. Big up, Kenny. Big up, my friend. Big up, Sanjay. How you doing? My friend. Hope you're doing well. Standards. These standard merchants. Standard merchant. That's the word. That's the key word today. Standards. If you haven't witnessed 13 titles, man, I'm not talking about anyone in this stream, but I'm talking about the social media lot, all right? Of the socials. If you haven't witnessed 13 titles, don't talk to me. Because I witnessed 13 titles, right? If you haven't witnessed 13 titles, don't talk to me about standards. Because I'm the last person you want to be talking about standards. I came from Leytonstone in East London to be working with platinum selling artists. You wanted to work standards, I am the definition of flipping standards. Right? You wanted to talk about standard, I am the definition of standards, coming from zero to working with legends. Right? That's standards. You can throw your standards thing on your social media all you want, mate. You can do all that all you want. Like you understand what standards are. Sitting there with your popcorn and your belly hanging out with your tank top. I ain't interested, mate. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. At the end of the day, Man United won the game. I'm celebrating. I'm happy because Man United won a game. Oh, goodness me. Shoot me. Oh, my goodness me. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Big up, everyone. Big up the Pearl. How you doing? I hope you're doing well. Should have been 6-1. Let's smash Bournemouth. Absolutely. That's a big game coming up. Asa, Max, how you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. He had a good cameo. Absolutely did. Absolutely did have a very good cameo, guys. Absolutely. Big up Kahinda. Kahinda, what's going, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. 7748. I call you. The next season on pundits and next players is alarming. This manager was only backed with 4 players this season. Exactly, but people don't want to mention that narrative. That's the old chestnut, is it, Kahinda? This is the thing, isn't it? They don't want to mention the facts because it goes against their narrative, which is a hateful, sinister narrative that has nothing to do with Man United succeeding. All they care about is being right. That is it. All they care about is being right. I just want to be right, and that's it, guys, at the end of the day. And that's what they want, when none of them really understand Man United or what Man United are about. Big up, Sam. What's going on, my friend? I'll be doing well. Good as Sal. How I wish United can just keep going like this matches and qualify for the Champions League. We'll need a Champions League football. It'll be magnificent, Sam. If we can get a Champions League football, of course, this season is very important. If Man United carry on like this, is only way, Sam, is only one. If we can carry on winning games, of course, it's all about winning games. If we could beat Bournemouth and we can beat Aston Villa, we could beat Newcastle, we could beat Leeds, we could beat all these teams coming up. Of course, you know, we have a chance. But obviously, proof is in the pudding. We're going to celebrate today the game against, obviously, Thingy. We're going to celebrate the game against Wolves, of course, but we're also going to bring in the realism of what the games are coming up and how many games are out there that we are going to be a little bit more difficult, including the Bournemouth game, of course, who've got Semenyo and all them. They've got good players. They've not been in good form. Bournemouth had a draw against Chelsea, which is not a bad result, to be fair. But you know what? When everyone who comes to Old Trafford these days just seems to get buoyed. It seems to get a little bit of a lift. And we have to erase this. We do have to erase this kind of thing. We have to make Old Trafford scary again. Make Old Trafford intimidate again. Make these players lose the game in the tunnel like we used to be. And that's the levels that I want to get to, of course. Kenny, Ahmad just kept on running into all traffic. Like Ahmad needs to be replaced. Needs to be a bench option, decent player, but as a bench option, he's definitely not a starter for me. Definitely would be a good player to come on in the second half, 60-odd minutes with a bit of pace. That's about it for me. Don't see anything of him that suggests to me that he's gonna go to the next levels, if you ask me. Now, look, it's not just him. There's a number of players in this squad that are not on those levels, guys. This is why Cristiano Ronaldo said you're expecting a miracle from Ruben Amorim if you want him to do the things that we expect him to do. Because there are many people out there that expect him to be challenging for the league with that bunch of players. Can you believe it? You know what I mean? Because I don't know what they're looking for at the moment. We're 1 point from the top 4. We're joint with Chelsea, who were just a couple of weeks ago in the title charge, by the way. So we're joint points with Chelsea. We're 1 point from the top 4, guys. So I really don't understand where we're going with this, to be honest with you. I don't understand what they look at. At the end of the day, if we carry this on, we get in the top 4, then good, happy days. If we don't, then we can ask the question and say, like, where do we need to improve? Because at the end of the day, this squad, we don't trust this squad. I don't trust this squad. This squad has bozo moments in them. We had a bozo moment yesterday in regards to the goal, but ultimately, we dominated that game yesterday. And I think every single one of us yesterday felt that we were going to win the game, even at halftime when it was 1-1. I felt that every single one of us thought, yeah, we're going to win this game. We're going to win it anyway. Wolves are not good, and we're going to win. Kenny, in regards to Cunha, he just oversimplified his game too much, but showed a bit of quality last. So that pass for the goal was absolutely phenomenal pass. He got an assist yesterday, of course. Absolutely phenomenal pass. And that is the quality that we expect from Cunha. The one thing I like about Cunha is his pressing. There is a lot of nerves going around. I do see a lot of anxiety in the team. I do see a lot of anxiety in Umbremo. I see a lot of anxiety on Cunha as well. There's a lot of nervousness going around. Obviously, there's a lot of toxicity around Man United and expectation as well. When you match toxicity with expectation, it's a bit difficult, and we can't blame the players too much. But I just want the players to relax a little bit, and play their game. Because yesterday we could have won by a handsome scoreline, even more, if you ask me. Guys, I don't know what you expect. I mean, keep a clean sheet, yeah, but I don't know what else you expect yesterday. What you want Man United to do at the end of the day. People were telling me, well, Man United need to win by at least 3 goals. We won by at least 3 goals. There we go, a dominant display. I didn't see anything scary from Wolves or anything that Wolves are going to come into the game and cause us any problems. So, good morning, Ephraim. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, my friend. Hope everything is blessed with you. Topic K, what's going on, mate? Hope you're well. Any stage against Wolves is a shame. A better position would have gone on the win. What, like Liverpool, Toppy? What, like Liverpool, mate? At any stage, didn't they lose to Chelsea 4-3? mate. At the end of the day, listen, you just need to start. If you want to support my football club that I've been supporting for 40 years, mate, maybe you just need to understand the game a little bit more. Come on the channel and start talking a little bit more facts rather than being a simpleton, mate. Because at the end of the day, we didn't play well in the last stages of the first half. But to say that any team would have beat us yesterday, what like Chelsea? What like Liverpool? What like Brighton? Did they beat us? Did Sunderland beat us? Did Burnley beat us? Come on, guys. Look, at the end of the day, we're 1 defeat in 8 games, and that was a bloody low block anyway. So at the end of the day, guys, listen, show a little bit of positivity. Coming on here with this negativity because you're proven wrong is silly. At the end of the day, we are conceding goals because our midfielders aren't good enough. We need midfielder exactly. But this is exactly a smart comment that Sam says. This is a smart comment. This is exactly Toby. This is what you need to look at. Smart comments. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, get called out because smart comments like Sam has just said, the midfield is a problem. We are Bagel FC. Why is the midfield a problem and why are we Bagel FC? It's because he weren't back to in the midfield positions in the summer. So this is something that we said in the summer that is going to, we predicted, I'm not psychic, but we predicted it in the summer that this was going to happen. And I actually said by December, we're going to be start talking about the midfield when we start, you know what I mean? And the defense and stuff like that. At the end of the day, we had a young lad named Aiden Heaven in the team. Did you know that? Did you remember that? And we had Luke Shaw, who's not traditionally a left-sided centre-back. He's a left-back. And that's what we're talking about at the end of the day, guys. So let's bring a little bit of context into what's going on at the moment, mate. Absolutely. Let's bring a little bit of context into it, of course. Kenny, Villa will be much tougher opposition, but we need a better head-to-head record against them recently. We do. Absolutely. Big up, of course. Big up. Absolutely. Manchester United needs to improve better. Very good performance yesterday. Big up, Prince. Absolutely. It was a very good performance yesterday. Irfan, big up. Good morning. So we should have been in the top 3. We just lazy gave away 2 points to West Ham and needlessly against everybody. Happy with the win, with the progress. There you go. Absolutely. People just want to bring a downer on it, mate. Nothing is perfect at the moment. Nothing is going to be perfect at the moment. Let me clarify. Nothing is going to be perfect at the moment. We are nowhere near where we need to be. Let me just clarify, right? We are nowhere near where we need to be. Absolutely not, guys, you know, but we're in touching distance. And you just need to take it. It's a fact. That right now is a fact. We are 1 point from 4th. Near Christmas, guys. 1 point from 4th in the top 4. Near Christmas. What's going on with people? What is with this? You know what I mean? Absolutely. And we're not far from the top as well. We won a game convincingly, and our fans are still not happy. What exactly do they want? They wanted a 10-0 win, mate. That's what they wanted. But even then with a 10-0 win, well, you know what? It was only Wolves. You know what I mean? That's what they want. At the end of the day, look, they couldn't find any excuses yesterday. So they thought they brought out the old chestnut. Shea Lacey should have been brought on. That was the excuse then yesterday. That was the excuse. It's ridiculous. Absolutely. Irfan, the way the crowd was wild, as usual, home or away, the noise they make is satisfying. Absolutely, Man United have the best away fans in the world, in my opinion. Shame about the home fans. Home fans need to be a lot more noisier and intimidating, in my opinion. That's just me. Manchester United is rebuilding and making progress. We are not perfect, but we are progressing, and that is one thing. And all I want to see is that I want to see Ruben Amorim back. I want to see him with the players, that the squad and the team that is his, because ultimately 70% of this team is not his. You know what I mean? And this is what we're talking about. You know what I mean? But they are performing. They are getting goals. They are winning games. We're scoring more goals now. That's good. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, 4 goals yesterday. I mean, we scored 4 goals now, twice in Ruben Amorim's tenure. Once against Everton last season, of course, and obviously yesterday, of course. Absolutely. Big up, Kula. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Morning, Devils. I know this team so well now. Had confidence in my 4-1 call. Big up, Kula. Absolutely. Big up yourself. Great prediction, my guy. Absolutely. Ahmad is a predictable player. He needs to improve. He does, Prince. He's too predictable. And the problem with Ahmad, right, sometimes you need to simplify your game in regards to the way you play. Get that ball into the box. Go on the byline. Stop cutting in. Cutting in is too predictable. And I used to be a defender, guys. So I know when the player cuts in on the wing, right, it's easier to defend. And sometimes you need to have more strings to your bow. The only concern that I have, though, and I would say this very, very clearly, I don't see any overlapping runs, if you know what I mean, like overlapping runs from the wing backs, like like we used to have. Traditionally, Man United used to have wing backs like overlapping on the wing, so that if Ahmad cut in, there will be an overlapping run on his side, on the right hand side, so he can look back and just pass it into the space, and we create chances by getting the ball into the box. We don't really do that as effectively anymore. I'm talking about Gary Neville and Patrick Evra, Dennis Irwin, and these players, of course. We don't really do that as effectively anymore. Man United used to be potent on the overlapping runs, especially on the wing-back position. So at the end of the day. That maybe that's to do with the detriment of the formation. Maybe if we played more of a 4-4-2, maybe we can get those wing backs into those positions. But it worked yesterday, and it does prove to you that if the formation does work at the end of the day. Absolutely. Cooler. My main concern is why don't these come on and kick the shit out of Wolves? They come on and go into the time against the wall and life on the line, not necessarily at all costs like what happened. Man United 1-4-1, mate. Not interested. Prince, big ups to Mason Mount, especially the fitness this season. Absolutely fair play to Mason Mount yesterday. Had a decent game. Definitely. Good morning, Saviour. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. We will finish top 4 when we sign 2 or 3 players, absolutely, in January, a midfield and a right wing back, or we can go for the 2 midfielders. Exactly. Man United need signings, absolutely. And obviously, the proof is going to be in the pudding with Ineos, obviously, in January, if they really care about supporting Ruben Amorim and they really care about ultimately supporting Man United. That is what the most important thing is for me. Are they going to support Man United? Are they going to support Ruben Amorim? I mean, obviously, proof is going to be in the pudding, isn't it, guys? Absolutely. We came out half blazing. Yeah, absolutely, we did. We did, absolutely. And guys, we won 4-1, right? We won 4-1. The same Wolverhampton Wanderers that drew with Tottenham and teams like that, guys, by the way. Wolves are not no mugs at the end of the day, guys. So I want to tell you that right now. This is the Premier League, okay? This is the Premier League. So you know what? Just the pessimism doesn't need to win. We won 4-1, guys. At any era in our history, winning 4-1 is a good result. I care about anything else, guys. I really don't. Just on the 29th of October, Wolves scored 3 goals against Chelsea. Right? They scored 3 goals and they lost 4-3, but they scored 3 goals against Chelsea. In September, they drew 1-1 with Tottenham Hotspur. All right? They drew 1-1 with Tottenham Hotspur. No, they haven't been great. They beat Everton 2-0, by the way, this season. They haven't been great. By all means, they haven't. Right? They only lost 1-0 to Newcastle as well, 1-0. They beat West Ham 3-2, right? With 10 men, they only lost 1-0 to Bournemouth, right? So, look, we're nowhere near where we need to be. Of course we're not, guys. Of course. We're not stupid, guys. We're nowhere near where we need to be. But the pessimism and the excuse because you doubted the manager, you doubted the manager at the end of the day. Here we go. Look, comments like this, it's just Wolves. It's just Wolves. It's just a dumb comment because you were proven wrong yesterday, mate. Trigger Kim, you're just an anti-Ruben Amorim. I know you, mate. You're anti-Ruben Amorim. I'm more concerned about Bournemouth and Villa. Can we beat those 2? Maybe. Can we beat Liverpool away? Maybe. Can we beat Chelsea? Maybe. Come on, mate. Come on. You know what I mean? This is what I'm talking about. Egotistical people who have an opinion and they worship their opinion more than the football club. We won 4-1 yesterday. We should have won 8. Right, this is what we're talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Egotistical opinions that is just so simpleton, dumbed down opinion that because you don't want Ruben Amorim at the football club because you know what, you've been proven wrong, Trigger Kim, more than one occasion, by the way, but you've been proven wrong. You know, it's just Pratt mentality, mate. Pratt mentality. Look, just enjoy the win. Oh, it's just Wolves. Is it really? What made you the king of the Premier League? What made you the king of the Premier League, Trigger Kim? What made you the king of the Premier League? Let me just tell you something, Trigger Kim. There's a team, right, in Ghana called Hearts of Oak. Right? Hearts of Oak, they're called. Maybe, just maybe, you know what I mean? You should go and support them. Because they're a great team. Go and support them. Because at the end of the day, the Premier League isn't for you because you think that, oh, you know what? F Wolves, they're rubbish. This is because of Wolves anyway. They're rubbish. And that's what I'm talking about, mate. You want education about football, maybe you should come up with a more educated opinion about how we didn't get backed in the window. You know, about this, about that. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. Just coming out with a simpleton thing because you were proven wrong, mate. It's only Wolves. It's only Wolves. It's only Wolves. You know, Sai TV's over there, mate. You can go there. Absolutely. Love the haters salt when United win. Heaven has proven that he is a Generation Earth fan. We've spoken about it before. He is a generational and absolutely phenomenal player, mate. Absolutely phenomenal player. Cooler. If we didn't do the shitty draws against Fulham and Spurs, of course, West Ham, Man United would have 11 points more than first place. So exactly. And this is what we're talking about, Cooler. Exactly what we're talking about. Fine margins in football, right? Fine margins in football. Man United drew to Tottenham, drew to Nottingham Forest, of course, and obviously the disappointing loss against Everton, which shouldn't have happened, but Man United will be right up there. Even if we turned one of those games around, we would have been right up there. Do you know what I mean? And this is what we're talking about. And this is how close the Premier League is. Arsenal lost to Aston Villa at the weekend. Chelsea drew with Bournemouth. No one's talking about that, are they, at the end of the day, guys? If we go and beat Bournemouth next week, if we go and beat Bournemouth at the weekend, shall I say, or Monday, if we go and beat them guys, you know what? We're better than Chelsea then because Chelsea drew with Bournemouth. But the people won't talk about that, will they? Do you know what I mean? Cooler. These guys must start to believe in each other and themselves more than trust themselves to see and know that they can kick the shit out of any team this season. They're even playing once a week. Absolutely. Christian, morning, Sal. Morning, Christian. Hope you're doing well. Ahmed is like a Grealish star at City, not at Aston Villa. He played better at Sunderland because the teams came for them, so he had more space on the right. He walks into space, mate. He cuts in. He has space. He walks in. He's just not good enough, Christian, as a Man United first-team right winger, and that's it. He's not good enough. Simple as that. Can't assist. Not scoring anymore, running into blind alleys and running into players. He's not good enough, mate. Great players take on their man. Don't just cut in and shoot, cut in and pass back, cut in and pass in the midfield and leaving us in trouble many times. Sal, how many points is good from the next 5 games? It depends. Let me have a look at Man United's next 5 games, mate. Let me have a look at Man United's next 5 games. Man United fixtures. Let me have a look. So we're looking at Man United's next 5 games. So we've got Bournemouth at home. Now, every single game we play at home, I expect Man United to win. That's on the 16th of December, right? Then we got Villa at home, right? Now, the key to the Villa game is the fact that we got the AFCON, the ridiculously timed AFCON in the middle of the season, 21st of December, right? So Man United will be missing Mbeumo, Ahmad, and Mazraoui. We will be missing. We will also be missing Mbeumo, Ahmad, and Mazraoui against Newcastle United. We'll also be missing Mbeumo, Ahmad, and Mazraoui against Wolves again on the 31st of December. Now, when I look at the games, I think a win against Bournemouth. I'll take a draw against Aston Villa, considering the AFCON, of course. I think we'll win at home against Newcastle. So I'm thinking, and then I think we'll beat Wolves. So that is 3, 4, 7, 10. So that's 4, and Leeds will win, and so that, and again we got the AFCON as well. I'll say 13 points out of 5. So I think 11 to 13 points out of 5. If we get something like that, I think that would be generally okay. But we got to also think about the AFCON, what's going on as well, guys. Absolutely, with AFCON that's going on. As a United fan, I believe we will end up either top 4 or top 5 this season. We are going to Champions League. See you. Come on, Sam. Love the positivity, my friend. Absolutely. It's good to see a bit of positivity in your house, of course, guys. Cooler. We fans have a very high expectation, but it's only because it's been coming on for so long. But the boys are not that bad at all. They are showing on and glimpses of what they can do. But you know what? This is what it is, Cooler. Just if they back Ruben Amorim to the extent that they're supposed to back Ruben Amorim, to the extent that we need to be backed, then obviously we can really make a true judgment on where we are. But at the moment, they gave a 4 out of 10 window. They gave a 4 out of 10 window. That's why, you know what I mean, at the end of the day. And that's why I'm not at all blaming the manager for that. I'm blaming for some things, but I'm not blaming for the majority of anything, guys. Absolutely not. Morning, Dan. How you doing, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Morning, Sal. United are on another unbeaten run. Wolves game came at the right time to build on the players' team spirit. Look, 8 games, 1 defeat, guys. Look, you know what? I know it's nothing to be shouting to the rooftops about. We drew a lot of games. I know that, of course. But if you don't see a little bit of progress in that, then, you know what I mean, that's you at the end of the day. And you just have a sinister agenda. And that's what it is. And I don't deal with agendas. I deal with intelligent football conversation. Do you know what I mean? As I said just there, I could speak about Hearts of Oak in Ghana, FC Tokyo in Japan. I could do whatever you want. You can talk about these teams if you want. But I analyze the game and I watch the game. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, and I know that, you know, there's a lots of ins and outs and contextual problems at Man United and obviously cultural problems at Man United that need to be addressed. Irfan, this season, any team can come at anyone on the day. All we need to do is stay focused and get hungry to win. Bournemouth and Villa. I know serious threats. We are United. Big up. And the only problem is the AFCON. That's it. Missing players. Ephraim, Sal, if we sort out our midfield in January, I think we will finish top 4 and be positive things. And be absolutely, Ephraim, big up my friend. Not signing this in January will be a mistake and not a strategy. We need to qualify quality options for the top 4 this year. Absolutely, Prince, spot on. They need to prove themselves now. They need to prove themselves that they truly back the manager and that they back Manchester United ultimately, more importantly. Do you know what I mean? And that is what it's all about, guys. Absolutely. Absolutely. Hearts of Oak is my team, brother. So you see this, guys, no one speaks about Hearts of Oak. They're my team too in Ghana, by the way, and my friend plays for them, mate. These doubters are infected with man-dem mentality. They're the man-dem mentality. Absolutely, mate. Man-dem mentality. That's what it is. And each man-dem are like minions. Man-dem minions. The man-dem minions, they go around copying each other. You know what I mean? They go on streams together. They support each other. They're all together, all pointing at each other. I agree with you. They're like the Churchill dog. That's what they do. They agree with each other. That's all they do, guys. That's all it is. The man, them minions. Absolutely. Morning, Mark. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Hope everything is blessed. Hope you're well. Are you happy with the result and performance? Happy with the result, my friend. Happy with the performance. We have to call it out when it is, when it needs to be called out. It was a good performance. I know it was only Wolverhampton Wanderers. I'm not delusional, Mark, but it was a good performance. Should have won 8. Shouldn't have conceded a goal, but almost perfect if we didn't concede a goal. If we're expecting 10s and 11 goals like no one scores, that's what these fans seem to be doing at the moment, then obviously people just have an agenda. But we have to take the result, feel happy about the result, and we move on to Bournemouth, which will be a more difficult game. We know that. But calling people, saying that people have no standards because they celebrate a win against Wolves, we're not celebrating like jumping up and down, running down the street with our shirt off, going like that, Ryan Giggs style. We're basically saying, yes, we won the game, nice result, decent result, created chances, could have scored 8 or 10. That's it. We take that 4-1, good result. And I think many, many people before the game would have taken that result before the game. Absolutely would have taken that result before the game. Irfan, my guy. Funny that Leeds scored 3 to draw versus Liverpool, and we say it's only Wolves. And look at the results for the past 3 weeks. Anyone could be anyone. We just need to keep our focus. This is the problem, Irfan, that a lot of these teams are very similar. There's very fine lines in regards to a lot of these teams. There's nothing like, even with the top team, Arsenal, there's nothing that suggests, look at Aston Villa game at the weekend. There's nothing that tells you they're going to run away with it and they're going to absolutely smash it. Anyone could be anyone, like you said, Irfan. Consistency will be key. Right. And as you said there, consistency will be key. We beat Bournemouth, and then you can say to be, now we're consistent. You know what I mean? We're beating teams now. We're undefeated. We go 9 with 1 defeat, guys. 9 with 1 defeat. I mean, guys, come on. As I said at the beginning of the show, if we, at the beginning of the season, someone said to you at Christmas, Man United will be 1 point behind the top 4 or in the top 4, I think many people, including those huge content creators out there, would have taken that. And it's what I'm saying. Are we there yet? No, we're not. Is this sustainable, some of the performances? No, it's not. I'm not saying it is. And this is people want to pick and choose and cherry pick what I say. It's not acceptable, some of the performances. They're not. We're not good enough at the moment. I know that, but we are getting results and we're not losing games. And that is a sign of a good team, potentially, right? Now, what do we do to improve that and get the best out of what Ruben Amorim has to offer? You back him to the point where it goes up to a 7 and 8 out of 10. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, we had a 4 out of 10 window, which people seem to be conveniently forgetting. That's what they forget. And they don't really have, the brain capacity to think about that, because obviously it goes against their narrative, which is a hateful agenda, which is not a narrative about football. William, good morning. How you doing, my friend? Bournemouth will be tough. Home form must improve. Absolutely, William. Big up, William. Hope you're well. Compared to Saka and Salah to Ahmad and see the difference, that is what Sal is saying. If we drop Ahmad and move Bruno up and Bremer on the left, we will be a much better balanced team. I agree with Irfan. Look, I really like Ahmad. Ahmad's a brother. You know what I mean? I like Ahmad. I really like him as a person. I like him as a player. But I just don't think he's a Man United player, in my opinion. I think he'd be a great substitute option to have. Definitely. But when I'm going through the top 10 of the Premier League, for example, Irfan, and I'm looking at all the wingers in the Premier League, is Ahmad as good as Kudus, for example? You know what I mean? Is he as good? Would he get in any of the top team wingers in the country in regards to the top 10 of the Premier League, excuse me? Probably not. Probably not. He probably wouldn't, would he? And this is why you have to call things as they are. But it's not just him. It's not just him. There's many players there that are just not quite at that level yet. Some of them are young. Ahmed's still young. Of course, I understand that. Some of them are still young. Some of them are not where they need to be yet. Some of them might get there. Some of them might not get there. Aiden Heaven, for one, we've always said it since last season that Aiden Heaven is a generational player. He's the defender. And we said it last season, and I remember. He's the only one in that defense out of the young defenders that could possibly be world class. I do think what Lenny Yoro could be as well. But out of the young players, look, you can have 10 young players coming into the football team. This is why I question this sheer lazy logic, right? You can have 10 players coming to the football team. Not every one of those young players are going to be good players. Some of them just not going to make it. Some of them are just not going to be good enough. As much as people want them to be good enough, as much as they love the player, some of them just won't make it. And when you bring through youth players, they say if one player came through out of 10 players, that is good enough because that is a bonus, isn't it? At the end of the day, out of 10 young players. And I just don't think Ahmad is that guy. Let's help the coach with quality players is the right man for Manchester United. We saw how the ball was moving yesterday with quality players next, and Man United will compete to win the league. Absolutely. Big up. No Cho at 15, the fifth 13 out of 5. You never know, Michelle. I don't know if you're French or a woman. I don't know, but you never know, mate. Benny. Delighted with the 3 points, but again, last night shows a real depth and quality in the squad. We haven't got depth and quality in the squad, absolutely, Benny. And where does this stem from? This stems from the ownership, of course, guys. Something that we've been talking about over and over and over again, which people conveniently forget, of course, because it doesn't go with their narrative, does it, at the end of the day? But at the end of the day, you never know what Man United are going to do the next 5 games. I would say that. I hope. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not going to be negative at the moment because you never know. The AFCON is a big problem, of course. We lack real quality. We do. Of course we do. Keep well, guys. Nice to be back, even if it is just for a few minutes. Big up yourself. Big up Irfan. Take it easy, my brother. I hope you're doing well, my friend. Good to see you again. Obviously, my South African legend, of course, guys. Absolutely. Big up Irfan, of course. We will celebrate winning Wolves because it's 3 points, not 1 point. I don't understand why rivals fan. We are not allowed us to break. They don't want us to celebrate, mate, because we don't have standards, mate. We have no standards because we're celebrating a win against Wolves. Me, 13 titles I've seen, but I've got no standards. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I know exactly what it takes. Let me tell you that right now, guys. Absolutely. Good morning, Reverts. How are you doing? Happy with the 3 points. The first players looked anxious. Absolutely, 4 out of 10 performance. Second half was much better. Some good performance. And this is the problem, isn't it, Reverts? It's more to do with a mental thing about Man United at the moment, is that we have this mental block with us where we go have these bozo moments. And we struggle 10, 20 minutes in games. We do. And we can struggle in games. And this is a problem going forward. It is a mental problem. It's a mental problem. It's a problem that has been there for many, many years. This is why I said the old players who've been there for many years need to be removed. And we need to bring in new players with a different mentality. You know what I mean? Because if you have so many players have this kind of mentality, it rubs off the new players. And I do believe it's rubbing off on Bremo as well and Cunha and players like that. So we need to obviously remove the players that have been there for many years and start building a new team with a different mentality, if you know what I mean. Based around the likes of Aiden Heaven, of course, Senny Lamens, Lenny Yoro, and all that, and base it around that, of course, guys, absolutely. Big up, Revert 7. Mark, where is Ahmed hate coming from? He's doing bits and he's not normally against 2 defenders. People need to remember he's playing out of position. He's playing out of position, but he's playing on the wing, Mark. He's playing on the wing and he should be able to make simple runs and simple crosses. He's nowhere near good enough, Mark. And he's not even as good as Luke Chadwick, mate. He's not good enough. And we should stop blowing smoke up his backside because he's not been good. He gives away the ball. He runs into traffic. He doesn't assist. He doesn't do much. He was better last season. But he's not good, mate. And we need to stop looking at things from a point of view of he's my favourite player and just say, like, look, listen, he's not good on the right. I don't care if he's playing right wing back. Great players play anywhere at the end of the day. You know, I don't really care about that, to be honest with you. If you can't play it, don't play it. Don't play. At the end of the day, if he can't play the right wing back position, he's not a number 10, so he shouldn't play. And that's what I say. That's why we need better players. If he can't play the wing back position, then he shouldn't play. I mean, at the end of the day, he's making simple things wrong. Making simple things like 2-yard passes, passing the ball into traffic, running into players. Things like that is not to do with system. It's to do with ability, mate. That's what it is. It's to do with ability. You know, there's no hate. Hate is a snowflake word, Mark. It's a snowflake, Mark. This is constructive criticism here. From a guy 40 years, 13 titles, mate, like I told you, right? But listen, this is constructive criticism. And it's no hate. Hate is a snowflake word. You're not a snowflake, Mark, are you? Two or three player quality could make the huge difference. Absolutely, this team. It's a shame Sesko didn't play last night. He should have got. Sesko. He would have scored yesterday. I think definitely, absolutely. We've said still early days in the Enfield boy heaven. Absolutely big up the Enfield boy. In a couple of years, he has the potential to be a top player. Fans must give him a space to go. Absolutely, bro. Absolutely, yes. He's getting there. As Casemiro gets fitter, we play better. Absolutely. Ahmad runs into walls. Exactly that. That's not a tactical thing. That's ability thing. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. Bruno played well. You can't complain about Bruno's performance yesterday. Bruno's performance was acceptable too. I mean, an assist and 2 goals. Well, fair play, mate. Fair play. At the end of the day, go Man United, Steven Marga. Big up yourself. Absolutely. Sal, is the Ligt injury serious? Well, you know what? It is getting to the realms of seriousness because he hasn't played for a while. I like Ahmed, but he plays like a talented 15-year-old YTS player, still inconsistent and lightweight. Exactly, mate. There's no hate there. It is constructive criticism. He's lightweight. His legs are too short. He's got no strength. He can't cross. He runs into traffic. He has the odd good game. He does the odd good thing, as every player does. Even Dorgu and Dalot have good moments. But the problem is, guys, at the end of the day, for me, as a guy who's witnessed Lee Sharp, Andre Kanchelskis, David Beckham, Cristiano Ronaldo, Luke Chadwick, he's just not even in that league. And Man United need to be looking at that and saying, no, this is the benchmark, this is the standard that we need. And I'm not just talking about Ahmed, I'm talking about all over the pitch, by the way. We're just bringing up Ahmed because Ahmed is a topic right now. So this is what we are. Like, we have to think about the levels here. We have to go up a level, of course, at the end of the day. I hear you, but would you bench him and sub him later on? Yes. I wouldn't say sell him, Mark. I wouldn't say that. I think he'd be a great squad option. Fantastic squad option, in fact, because there's certain players, right, that are good from the bench. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was a world-class player who was good for the bench. I think that if we brought on Ahmad with 60 minutes to go, I think he will terrorize the defense. I would. I think it'd be a lot better for him. I just don't think he's good from the start. And some players are just not, mate. You know what I mean? I would say that. I think that Bruno should have got man of the match. He should have got. He did for me. I got him there as the man of the match, of course. He did get my man of the match vote, of course. He did get it. You have to give it to him. So I hope Martinez stays injury-free. He has a leader. Absolutely, mate. I hope so, mate. He's such an influential player for us, absolutely. Semenyo would really... But, guys, I don't want to bring in any... I really didn't want to bring in any negativity today because we won the game. And every single player to a man did well yesterday. And I just want to say that, guys. We won 4-1 yesterday, all right? I know it's Wolverhampton Wanderers. I know they're not the greatest team in the world, but we won 4-1 yesterday. And I think that we have to have a little bit more positivity about, ourselves and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because there is a lot of pessimism going around. There's a lot of negativity going around at Man United. And we're trying to stay away from that at the moment. When there's a little bit of positivity to be grabbed on, you grab onto that positivity and just try and build up momentum because it does work and it does resonate and it does create more positive energy going into the next game, of course. If we're pessimistic and all anxious going into the Bournemouth game, it's just going to rub off, isn't it, on the players? So our current position, based on what we did in the last 15 minutes, just shows how poor all teams are in the league this season. 8 games, 1 game defeated, mate. I wouldn't say that. Beating Liverpool, beating Chelsea, beating Sunderland, beating Burnley, and beating Wolves. I don't think it's that bad, mate. It's not. Look at the Champions League, you can tell that. For the English Premier League, still the best. For all those people who think we should sack the manager, which I'm not one of them, which manager would take the place? Can other managers that actually have free agents will Man United? Mate, there's no managers out there. I mean, when we're talking about managers out there, there's no real standout candidate of managers out there that can make a difference for Man United at the moment. I hope De Ligt will be back soon. He is having a great season, absolutely. But he's injured, unfortunately. I don't want him to go back because when he was playing for Bayern Munich and Juventus, of course, De Ligt had an injury problem. So did Mazraoui. I was a little bit concerned about Mazraoui when he was on the floor earlier in the game, of course. And, I was worried about him because before we signed De Ligt and Mazraoui, Bayern Munich fans were telling me that they're injury prone. They got injury prone. That's the problem with them. They're injury prone. And I think that, I'm just a little bit worried about that, of course, guys. This is not hate for Ahmad. We are, and as I mentioned, United players and their performances, absolutely. Look, apart from the assist and 2 goals, Bruno is distinctly average. And I still think we should need to move on Bruno in the future, in the end of the season. There's a lot of players at Man United. For me, Luke Shaw needs to go. I agree. I think Luke Shaw needs to go. Luke Shaw's just not good enough. I've said that 1,000 times. You know what I mean? I don't think Mason Mount is particularly... He's been all right. Again, he could be a substitute option, but he's definitely not a first-team player if you want to qualify for Champions League and stuff like that. There's many things bones we can pick about this team. There's lots of problems in this team. And as I said at the top of the show, this team is nowhere near where it wants to be. And I'm not saying that we're there. We're going to win the Champions League. We're going to get in the Champions League. We're going to win the league. None of us are saying that. But what we're saying is that how can Man United improve going forward? You know what I mean? Can we rotate the team a little bit more effectively and stuff? However, what I would say in regards to the AFCON, which is coming up, we are going to miss Ahmad. We are going to miss Mbeumo. We are going to miss Mazraoui. It's going to be very, very scary in regards to the AFCON because obviously we're going to miss the whole right-hand side of our pitch, which is going to be a problem. Now, what can we do? This is going to be a great opportunity for like Xerxes, for Mainu to come into the team. Bruno moving to number 10, and we can obviously rotate and play Dalot as a right wing back and play Dorgu as a left wing back, of course. So we can rotate, but the squad is very thin. So that is what is concerning. We have beaten Palace and Brighton and Liverpool and Chelsea. And beat Brentford. I think Amorim, Brentford, big up Brentford. I think Amorim would beaten all the competition that would be asked to replace him in terms of up-and-coming managers in the league. He's 40 years old, just turned 40 years old, by the way. Absolutely, he's the most up-and-coming manager, one of the most up-and-coming managers in Europe. People forget that, don't they? They think he's 60, don't they, at the end of the day, guys? But he's not. He's 40 years old. For goodness sake, he's my age. Goodness, mate. And you know what? At the end of the day, look, you know what? I'm seeing signs. I know some people refuse to see signs. Some people are refusing to see the positives, refusing to see anything of any kind of zealous kind of mentality. People are just looking at it and thinking negative. He did this, he did that, he did this, he did that. And the thing is, the key for me, when I listen to opinions, right? There's great people in this channel. You know what I mean? There's great people. We have debates. I might disagree. You might disagree with me. That's fine, guys. At the end of the day, I love it. It's better when you disagree. It's better when we debate. But what I would say this, guys, when people come on the channel and instead of coming out and saying it was a good result, I'm happy with the result, a little bit concerned about that. We need to improve that. Bigger games are coming, tougher games are coming. That is a constructive criticism at the end of the day. When you come on the channel and you say it's just Wolves, that is agenda. That is agenda. I don't care if it's just Wolves. At the end of the day, you can only beat what's in front of you, and that's disrespectful to Wolves. At the end, it's the Premier League. At the end of the best league in the world, right? So when people come out and say that, just shows me that you have no interest in Man United succeeding. You don't want Ruben Amorim to succeed because you want Ruben Amorim out. Now, as I said, and I double clarify, triple clarify, quadruple clarify, I'm not manager in, I'm not manager out, I'm Manchester United. That's what I am at the end of the day. I don't label myself as anything. I don't think we should. If Ruben Amorim got sacked, we move on for the next one. If he got sacked, at the moment, I think it'll be a little bit harsh considering that we're one defeat in 8 games. Right, we're not winning enough. I know that. We're drawing too many games. I know that. But we have won some big games this season. You're looking at 2 games in a row. We won away from home, guys. Now, guys, you know what I mean? Crystal Palace and Wolves. And we've also won at Liverpool this season so far. So if you don't see improvements within the team and that, I just think that you have an agenda. I just feel like you don't really have the best interest in Manchester United at heart, if I'm being totally honest with you. And you know what? That's a problem at the Man United fan base at the moment. We have the man dem opinion, the man dem millions. The man dem minions are the ones that just like to go on shows with each other and agree with each other and you know what, comfort each other and reassure each other. And they're basically like man dem psychiatrists for each other, and that's what they do. They're basically like man dem marriage counselors. That's what they basically like. They just go on streams together every single week, same round and round without no opposing opinions, and they just carry on, and that's what they do. You know what I mean? From 1st to 14th, the level of teams, any team would be in the top 6 of a league in the world. From 1st to 14th, the level of teams, them would be in the top 6 of any other league in the world. England is the toughest league in the world. You can tell that from the Champions League. And that is simple as that. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, Wolves will be mid-table in La Liga. I will say that. Stephen, United would be right up the table if they had beaten Everton, absolutely West Ham. I need to stop drop points. Absolutely, Stephen. This is the biggest problem now. Obviously, we're looking forward to the Bournemouth game, of course, mate. We're looking forward to the Bournemouth game, and let's hope that we can get this Bournemouth game and win this Bournemouth game, of course, guys. And if we win the Bournemouth game, and then obviously it'd be a lot more. Obviously, I'll be a lot more happier because it is a tougher game. Of course it is. I'm a little bit concerned about the last couple of games at Old Trafford. Of course I am. This is one thing I'm concerned about. I've always pointed out that Old Trafford isn't as intimidating as it used to be. I think Old Trafford needs to be a lot more intimidating. I think it needs to be a lot more scary like it used to be. I don't think it is scary at all. I really don't. I actually think that Old Trafford is a bit of a soft touch at the moment. I'll be honest with you, and we don't scare teams at Old Trafford, and this is something that I'm concerned about. Of course, we have to be, and obviously Bournemouth represents the kind of test that we need at Old Trafford, because it's one of them teams that can be difficult. They've got good players, and they've beaten us 3-0 a couple of times at Old Trafford recent years. You know what I mean? They've beaten us 3-0 at Old Trafford a couple of times. So what do we need to do? Beat Bournemouth, and we can only beat what's in front of us, of course. There's going to be tougher games coming, of course there is. Benny, Amorim obviously had a good go at them at her last night at halftime, because first half simply wasn't good enough. With the team, I think Amorim is doing well as a positive. Guys, listen, this is a great comment from Benny. This is a great comment for Benny, because this won't be mentioned. Against Crystal Palace at halftime, Man United came out in the second half and played well and won the game, right, after being 1-0 down. Against Wolves at halftime, 1-1, Man United came out all guns blazing and won the game 4-1. So Ruben Amorim won't get the plaudits here. He won't get the praise because, you know what, it doesn't fit a narrative. That's what I'm saying. Ruben Amorim's management has been working, because at halftime, there obviously was a change in mentality in the second half, because Man United went out all guns blazing. That's what happened, guys, absolutely, and that's what we say. Bournemouth, Ephraim, Stephen, Bournemouth are not in great form at the moment. They have a dip. They're six without a win, mate. Yeah, absolutely. Sal, some fans say that we win not because of the manager, individual brilliance. I mean, did they understand? They don't understand football, mate, because they want the manager out. Now, I don't mind you having a manager out conversation, Ephraim. That is absolutely fine. I actually like it on this stream to have a manager out conversation, but I like people's opinions to be more balanced and understanding of what's going on in the football game. You know what I mean? Not just calling games because they want the manager out, coming out with very basic, simpleton kind of opinions. And that's what I dislike about some people's opinions. You know what I mean? Kenyon, how many teams will drop points to the current Everton and West Ham? Nuno ball, Dyche ball, and Moyes ball, a similar and very trucky, especially in the bigger teams. Absolutely. Look at Everton this season, mate. You know, look at Sunderland this season, mate. And look at Burnley sometimes this season, mate. You know, there's difficult teams in this league. Every single team has good players these days. We have to remember that. When we think about Sunderland had a better transfer window than us. You know what I mean? This is what we're talking about. So, you know, people got to understand that the league is full of good players. Every single team has good players now. A lot of teams have money now. There's the FFP and PSR. Everyone has to spend a similar amount of money now. So there's no one going to be running away with everything, of course, guys. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But, guys, we won the game. It's 4-1. We move on to Bournemouth. That's the talk about game. That was the match, obviously. My man in the match of the game, obviously, was Bruno Fernandes. Of course, guys, I wouldn't say anything more because, obviously, 1 assist, 2 goals. You can't get better than that. That was good. Great performance. Big shout out to Aidan Heaven. Very good performance, of course, guys. Liked it very much. There were some good performances in the team yesterday. Some not so good. But you know what? I enjoyed the win nonetheless. I enjoyed the win. And we move on to Bournemouth. And that's all we can do, guys. We move on and we go on. And that's all we can do is win what's in front of us at the end of the day. No, we're not going to win 10-0. You know what I mean? And I know that's what people expect Man United to do these days. They want Man United to score double-figure goals to basically be happy, but it's not going to happen, guys. We know that, don't we, at the end of the day, guys? But you know what? What I would say is that Man United are a point from top 4, in the top 5, joint with Chelsea. Champions League football is on, guys, halfway through the season. You know what I mean? Halfway through the season, Champions League football is on. Well and truly on, guys. Don't be so pessimistic. Let's try and be hopeful. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but you know what? When there's a time to be pessimistic, it's today, guys. And just have a little bit of hope. Guys, absolutely, because there's no one out there who's going to make these players any better. Let me tell you that right now, guys. Absolutely. What happened to Glasner? What happened to your Thomas Frank and all those team managers that are so good, are better than Amorim? It's not true, guys. Absolutely. Guys, thank you for joining me today. I'm Sal Warner. This is Breaking Dawn. I'll see you later on, of course, guys. Don't forget to join me. Don't forget to smash a like. Don't forget to put your notifications on. And don't forget to subscribe, guys, if you're lurking in the shadows and stuff like that. I really appreciate everyone who joins me every morning. I really appreciate you absolute legends, guys. And whether you agree or not, love it, guys. Love the conversations. It's always passionate, as usual, on Stretford Post. It's the realest Man United channel in the land, of course, guys. Take it easy. Have a great day. I shall see you later. Take it easy, Stephen. I shall see you later, guys. Peace.